What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Olivia. Hello, how you doing? Today we are going to be doing a full leg workout with me. This actually was a really good workout. I did it yesterday. I'm feeling it today. I am sore. It hits the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings, and like the side of the booty. So we got it all going on today. I do have my side salad with me here today because I'm freaking hungry. But the salad actually is bomb. If you need a good recipe, this is kale, tuna with hummus. I always mix my tuna with hummus instead of like mayo or whatnot. I have like a quinoa blend in here, tomatoes, cucumbers, balsamic vinegar, and then good seasoned dressing. If you don't know what good seasoned dressing is, look for it in your grocery store. It's so freaking good. So, also this is me trying to be festive. So, enjoy it. All right, without further ado, I never say that. Why did I just say that? Let's just get into the workout. So to start off my leg days, I have been using pre-workout. I really have never really used pre-workout consistently throughout my last like 3 years of my fitness journey, just because I really am caffeine sensitive. But this Campus Protein pre-workout actually is, I seriously, genuinely do love it. It doesn't make me anxious. It's not like too much caffeine for me where I'm feeling like super giddy or like my heart rate, I can feel it pumping really fast or anything like that. It gets me like hyper, which is what I want to happen with pre-workout instead of that anxious feeling. So I have been loving it, especially in the flavored peach rings, because I love peach flavored things. And yeah, you could use code Olivia to save 10% off as well. But so to get into the workout, the first thing that I did, it was freezing. I'm from upstate New York and it literally was the high of like 10 degrees yesterday. So I did jump roping for a couple minutes just to really get my heart rate up and get moving and get the blood flowing and everything. And then I moved into some glute activation. Now, I do glute activation every single solitary leg day. Every single leg day. Here I'm using Hope Fitness Gear resistance bands. You don't need to have resistance bands, but they are really helpful. You can just use your body weight if you would like, or just lower weights when you are doing these movements. But resistance bands, I find, are by far the best way to get a pump in your glutes. Now, the whole purpose of glute activation is, again, just to get your glutes fired up, warmed up, ready to go. That way they'll contract more readily during your workout. They'll be easier to recruit and fire up during those movements. And it also helps kind of, a lot of people struggle with their dominant muscles taking over the move when they are lifting weights. But glute activation will help to kind of make sure that your glutes will be present in the contraction as opposed to other muscle groups taking over the move. So there's no real rhyme or reason to this. It's just to get the blood flowing in your glutes, the glutes pumping and things like that, and for you to feel a burn. Then moving on into our first exercise, our hip thrusts. Now, I've been incorporating hip thrusts for probably almost a year now, and they have transformed my glutes. I absolutely love them. So here I'm showing you guys that I have a barbell pad on the bar to protect my hips, and then again I'm using that resistance band that I use to warm up, just to put that around my knees. This will kind of help add another plane of resistance during this move. So to get into the move, as you can see, I just sit down, I roll the weight over my lap, and then I kind of scooch my heels in towards my bum so I can kind of get a good base. Then I put my elbows up onto the bench and just kind of slide myself up. So with hip thrusts, it's really important that you want to make sure your knees are stacked over your ankles. That's super important. If they're kind of too close to your bum or too far away from your bum, you'll feel it either in your quads more or in your hamstrings more, which is what we don't want. Again, hip thrusts are really a great isolation move for your glutes, so you really should be feeling it in your glutes. Another thing is you definitely want to make sure you're pushing through your heels at all times. Super duper important. Again, it will really help you contract your glutes. Another thing is to make sure you are always looking forward. So a lot of, you know, when you get tired and you kind of will drop your head back when you're doing them. No, you want to keep your head looking straight forward. Again, kind of more complex, but it helps to keep that posterior tilt in your pelvis, which helps to kind of engage your glutes a little bit more. So that's also really important as well. So here we are doing 1 1/4 reps. So what that means is you're going to do 1 full rep, then you're going to go, it's kind of like a pulse, if you will. So you're going to do 1 full rep and then 1/4 of a rep, 1/4 of a rep. But this kills. The first time I did these, I was like, so this is a super awesome, great variation to implement, especially if you're used to just doing plain hip thrusts. If you need a variation, this is a great one to implement. And we're doing 3 sets of 10 reps. So then on our fourth set of hip thrusts, we're not done with hip thrusts. We're just doing a different variation for our last set. So these are called myo reps. So still the same things applies. It's still a hip thrust, still all those form pointers that I talked to you about previously. All that same stuff applies, but now we're just doing a different variation of it. So here you're gonna wanna decrease your weight a little bit. As you can see, I took off the 35 pounds and put on 25 pounds on each side, including that 45-pound plate. Because this is definitely going to kind of test your endurance a little bit more with your glutes. So my reps are when you do 10 reps, drop the weight, take 3 to 5 deep breaths, do 5 more reps, drop the weight down again, take 3 to 5 deep breaths, go back up and finish for 5 more reps. Now, this can be really brutal, but it really is such an awesome way just to really tire out your glutes. I absolutely love it. Here, again, there's no like pulse or anything we're adding. It's just 10, 5, and 5 normal hip thrusts reps. So yeah, this is gonna get the booty going for sure. I need a snack break. Moving on into our you wish. Moving on into our second exercise, our banded glute focus Romanian deadlifts, and we're gonna do 3 sets of 12. So here I just took a large resistance band. This band is so old. Like my mom gave it to me. I have no idea where she got it, but you can get one on like Amazon, a normal one. But what you do is just take the band, you wrap it around like a pole or even like the leg of like a dumbbell rack or something like that, something sturdy, okay, something sturdy in the gym, and kind of just loop it through itself. And then you're gonna want to step into the band, walk out, and then you grab the bar, and we're doing Romanian deadlifts. So here, it's really important to make sure, I actually made a point of this, I put it in slow-mo in the video for a reason. You wanna make sure as if there's like a board along your back. So like the only range of motion is going to be coming from your hips. So it's kind of like that's your hinge, is your hips during this movement. So there should be no arching in your back, no rounding of your back. It should be very neutral, again, as if there's a board laying on top of it. I say glute focused RDL for a reason. So as you can see, I'm bending a little bit more in my knees here. Now this is again to shift the emphasis away towards the hamstrings, which is normally the main focus of Romanian deadlift, and kind of shift it more towards the glutes, because that's just the way it works. The more bend you have in your knee, the more it's kind of going to take the stretch away in your hamstrings. So once you keep your back straight and neutral, you have a slight bend in your knees to kind of shift that focus to your glutes. Now you're going to want to make sure that you are kind of shifting your weight back onto your heels when you start to go down into this movement. So as you can see, my toes are really light throughout the whole movement. They're kind of always like floating because so much pressure is in my heels, because that's where I'm kind of shifting my weight back onto when I'm stretching in the movement, lowering the movement, and as I'm coming up, I'm pushing through my heels to feel that contraction in my glutes and pull up through my glutes and my hamstrings. So that's something that's super important. But another cue that I really like to give when people are trying to do this exercise is to initiate it from your hips. So act as if you're sitting down into a chair. I find that really, really helps. So when you're initiating the movement, let that band around your hips pull you backwards as if you were sitting down into a chair. Stick your butt out, girl, and just kind of sit back into the move, and then lower down and feel that stretch in your glute and your hamstrings, shifting that focus onto your heels, getting down to the bottom of the movement, and then again pushing through your heels, keeping that back flat and neutral again, like we said, and then pulling up through your heels and through your glutes. All right, exercise number 3. We are doing reverse lunges, 3 sets of 12, I think is what I have, yeah. So here I'm just going to put in a clip of kind of the basic foundation of a lunge. So again, same principle as we talked about with our hip thrust. You're going to want to make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle. Again, this is going to shift the weight into your heels. Common themes here, because again, you're going to want to be pushing through your heels when you're coming up out of this move. So the reason why I say to keep your knee over your ankles, it really helps to, again, feel that stretch in your glutes. So this is another same concept that we talked about with the Romanian deadlift. You're gonna wanna sit into the move. So I find a lot of people kind of just like crashing down on their, and like crowding their toe when they come into a reverse lunge, if that makes sense. But what I really want you to do is focus on sitting back into the movement and feeling that stretch in your glutes and making sure that your knee is stacked over your ankle. So I find that super, super important, especially with feeling this move in your glutes specifically. Moving into exercise number 4. These are just banded side steps. We're gonna do 2 sets of 30 with each side is 1. So technically like 15 on each side if you wanna think of it that way. Here I don't have like too many cues for you, but this is really gonna work your gluteus minimus and medius, which is like the muscles around your hips. This will kind of help round out the booty, which we all like, we all want that side booty, a lot of people refer to it as. So yeah, I really do love this exercise. I haven't done it a ton, but I liked it. I threw on a little barbell on there just to add a little bit more weight, which was really nice. But yeah, again, you're really gonna wanna be feeling that kind of on the side of your booty. And another thing with these side to side steps is that I really did have a shortened rest period. So I think I only did like 30 seconds to a minute in between those 2 sets. So just keep that in mind again, because there's not a ton of load with the movement. All right, now to finish off this workout, we're going to be implementing a superset. What's a superset? Let me tell you what a superset is. So a superset is when you do 2 moves back to back with no rest until you complete both movements. So the first move that we're doing is called the 45-degree hypers. I don't know if that's like the official name, but Brett Contreras, aka the glute guy, calls it that. So that's what I was gonna call it, but it's like the back extension machine. Anyways, so here I was trying to show you that I tilted my toes out a little bit. Here, this is gonna be different. Okay, like I said, this machine, piece of equipment, is originally for your back extension, so for your lower back. Now, like we did with the Romanian deadlifts, we're kind of gonna make it more glute focused. How are we gonna do that? I'm gonna tell you. So we're gonna do that by A, pointing our toes out a little bit, B, rounding our back. Now this goes against like all principles of lifting, I feel like, but it really does help a lot. So if you kind of tuck your chin to your chest, really round over your shoulders and your back, you're gonna look like a gremlin. But when you do that, it really does kind of take the load off of your lower back and shifts it more towards your glutes. Now, another thing to keep in mind is usually with these machines, a lot of people think that you want to go all the way up to the tippy top until you're like kind of completely straight or even like backwards. No, we don't want that when you're trying to hit your glutes. You're kind of going to want to stop like halfway through the normal range of motion with this piece of equipment. So I'm kind of stopping halfway through instead of coming all the way sitting up on the machine, if that makes sense. So in the beginning of this, I did use a 10-pound plate on my chest. Again, really rounded my back, tucked my chin, and kept that tempo fast when I was completing these. Because again, we are shooting for 25 reps. It is supposed to be kind of a quick, more bursty movement. So after you do those 45-degree hypers, you're gonna wanna go straight into a standing leg curl. Now I did this on the leg extension machine, which is usually for your quads, but we're being innovative over here and we're using it to hit our hamstrings. So I kind of just like slid into it, and I'm using really, really lightweight here, like literally 15 pounds, because again, those 45-degree hypers are definitely gonna hit your hamstrings as well. It's pretty simple exercise, and you just stand there and then curl your leg up. So you're gonna wanna do these back and forth. You're gonna do the hypers, then the leg curl, then you can rest for like 1 to 2 to 3 minutes, and then you're gonna go back and repeat that duo for 2 more times. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I really like this workout. I'm really confident about it. I really wanted to share it with you guys. It was a really, really good workout. Be sure to try it. Let me know if you do. If you liked this video / want to keep coming along on this journey of life with me, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is @livefit, kind of my alter ego. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. I genuinely hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you're wanting to see some more content from me. So that's it. That's all. Peace and love.